before we go to the proof of cash, we will first have the to-date bank reconciliation. Okay, so when we say it's to date, there are 2 dates wherein we're going to prepare the bank reconciliation. So it's not just for 1 month, but that is for 2 dates. So to compute for the correct cash balance, so we already know the reconciling items on both the book and on the bank side. So we need to know the reconciling items and also the necessary treatment for the reconciling items. For example, if we are reconciling in the bank side, so we're using the balance per bank, and we want to get the adjusted balance per bank. So we need to get the bank reconciling items and include that in the reconciliation. And what are the bank reconciling items? So we have the deposit in transit, which would be added, and the outstanding checks, which will be deducted to get the adjusted cash balance. Then on the book side, that is per ledger, on the side of the depositor or the side of the client, we also have the book reconciling items. And what are the book reconciling items? These are the credit memos and the debit memos. So credit memos are added and the debit memos are deducted. And what are examples of the credit memos? If you can still recall, we have the notes collected in behalf of the client. So this is collected by the bank, or it could be proceeds of the loan or any maturity of any existing investments or time deposit. And when we talk about the debit memos, so these are deductions or charges from you that were reflected in your bank statements. Examples of these deductions, we have the no sufficient fund checks, we have the NSF, we have the service charge, bank service charge, or other forms of deductions against your cash balance in the bank. And after you add the credit memos and the deduct the debit memos, you will get the adjusted cash balance. But this is on the side of the books or on the side of the depositor. However, there are times when some of the important figures to compute the adjusted cash balance are not present in the problem. So they are not given. We still need to compute for the amounts. And to compute for the amounts, there are standard formulas that you may follow. So these are most likely the format that you can use in order to compute for the correct balances. So first we have is the computation of book balance, because in some problems they don't provide you the cash balance per ledger immediately, but they give you the details last month plus or deduct any cash flows within the month, and it's up to you how to derive the balance at the end of the month, but you can compute for that, and this is the formula. So you will start with the balance per book at the beginning of the month, so meaning this is the ending balance last month. Okay, so remember, this is book because we're on the side of the book. Add the book debits during the month. And what are the book debits? These are the cash receipts or all items debited to the cash in bank account. So everything that were debited to the cash in bank. So diba, when we prepare the entry, so we debit the cash in bank, and then you credit whatever is your reason for debiting. But most likely, if you transfer that from the cash on hand and you convert that to cash in bank, so pwede na cash in bank, debit, and then credit cash on hand. Okay, like it you transfer from the on hand to the in bank. But if it is a collection from your customer, you can just directly debit cash in bank and you credit accounts receivable. Then you deduct the book credits during the month. And what are book credits? These are the disbursements or all items credited to the cash in bank account. And you will now get the balance per book at month end. So at the end of this month. But remember, this is not yet the correct cash balance. This is just the balance per book, which you will use in your computation or in your bank reconciliation, di ba? Na may balance per book and then i-add nimo ang credit memo, deduct ang debit memo, and then you have the adjusted balance. So, mao din siya ang imuhang ibutang ato. Kanisiya mo na nga, you need to compute first the balance per book. If you're going to use the T account, so this is how it looks like. So, the balance ending is on this side. And of course, cash has a debit balance. This is on the side of the depositor ha, kasi sa book man ni siya. So, mag-start siya sa beginning and then i-add ang debits, di ba? And you credit the book credits. Then you will get the balance ending. Okay? Next is, how about in the problem, the balance per bank statement is not given. So, you can compute for that. So, you will start with the balance per bank, beginning of the month. Again, this is your ending balance last month carried forward to this month. So, wala siya ang balance per bank. And you add the bank credits, deduct the bank debits, and you will get the balance per bank. Okay? So, what are bank credits? Why is it added, ma'am? If you look at the book balance, ang gi-add sa iyaha is book debits. But if sa bank credits ang i-add. So, what is the reason why it's added or the bank credits are added? Because bank credits are items credited to the account of the depositor. And remember, if the bank will credit the account of the depositor, it means that the balance or the account of the depositor on his or her deposit is increased. Di ba? Pag i-credit sa bangko, ang bangko ang mo credit sa account sa customer, mo saka ang amount or maadan ang iyahang account. On the contrary, on the other side, if it is debits on the side of the bank, pasabutan na niya is naa siya'y gideduct. Okay? So, these are items debited to the account of the depositor, which includes checks paid by bank and debit memos. In the absence of any statement, bank debits are assumed to be checks paid by the bank. So, di ba pag magbayad og cheque, makuhaan man ang ato ang balance. Okay? So, if you're going to use a T account, so you will start with the beginning balance. That's on the credit side of the bank. Kay kung debit side na siya, so that's di ba kung i-debit na siya, so that is a deduction. But if i-credit na siya, so that is an increase in the balance. Okay? And then, you will add the bank credits and then you will deduct the bank debits. And you will get the balance ending. If you like this video, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated with the latest video lessons. Thank you for watching.